Well, let's talk about coffee. Waking up to a cup of coffee is routine for a lot of people, but it is getting more expensive. Statistics Canada says coffee prices have gone up 34% since January. That's forcing coffee chains, like some of the big chains, like Tim Hortons, to increase their double doubles by 3 cents, which is a first in many years. So we wanted to hit the street and see how that's impacting you and whether or not it's going to change your coffee drinking habits. CBC's Jim Agapito met up with some Winnipeggers over at the Forks.
Hi, what's your full name?
Jacqueline Linklater.
Have you noticed a change in how much coffee costs?
Yeah, pretty much. I'll go to Tim's and it seems like it's been a lot more. Like, if like an iced coffee's gone up a lot.
About how much are you spending on coffee right now?
This is embarrassing. I go to Tim's probably about every morning. They'll probably go at lunchtime, and sometimes we'll go to Starbucks. Probably about $200 a month on coffee.
$200. So a change like this then will have a big impact. Okay, is there a piece where you would say no thanks and stop drinking coffee?
Probably not.
Why is that?
Because I'm addicted to it. I just gotta go. I gotta get my coffee.
Shaylin Thiessen.
About how much do you spend on coffee right now?
I'd say, I don't know, I go a couple times a week, probably $4 or $5 each coffee.
Is there a piece that would make you say no thanks to stop drinking coffee?
Probably not. I don't know, I'd find a way.
And why is that?
I don't know, I can't stop drinking coffee.
Charles, Silvernagle.
Have you noticed a change in how much coffee costs?
Yeah, obviously. Everything costs more now.
So how much would you say that you spend on coffee right now?
Like going out for coffee, maybe twice a month.
And what about at home?
We have coffee every morning.
Have you noticed an increase in that?
Absolutely.
What prices would you say it's changed for you then?
Well, like you get a box of coffee pods at like Costco or something, the price went up, but the number of pods in it went down by like from 150 to like 120. So I'm paying more per pod, definitely.
With that said, I'm wondering, is there anything that would stop you and say no thanks to drinking coffee?
Well, it's not something I'd crave in the morning, so if it gets too expensive, I'm just gonna quit drinking coffee.
Melanie McKay.
StatsCan says the price of coffee has gone up 34% since January. How do you feel about that?
I think it's ridiculous. Everything has gone up substantially over the last little while, and I think like coffee should just remain the same. I usually go to McDonald's, to be quite honest with you, because the coffee there is much better and it is way cheaper. But I noticed that when you use, pardon me, your points, that the amount of points used to get a free coffee has doubled as well. So for somebody who drinks coffee religiously as like every day, I need that, and I obviously will have to pay for it.
Let's have coffee with Connor Vogt. I just saw him listening on Zoom and having a swig. He's the owner of Parlour Coffee here in Winnipeg. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me.
So what's your reaction, I guess, as you were listening to folks talking about some saying they'll change habits, others saying they wish they could, but they're addicted, some understanding and some saying they think it's ridiculous?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, everyone's going to have a bit of a different response to changes in prices for the things that they purchase, right? Like, I mean, a lot of people that we see coming to the shop every day, they come every day, whereas some are coming, twice a week. Sometimes I only see people coming once a week. And again, I think with something like coffee, depending on how much it is a part of your routine, how much you kind of see it as a luxury good or as something that you feel like is a necessity, as a part of your lifestyle, those are things that are going to change how you interact with things, right? So yeah, I think that's why we saw sort of the swath of responses with regards to Jim's question there.
When did you first, Connor, notice the rise in coffee prices for the products at your business?
Yeah, I would say again, like I know you had put that stat out that there was a StatCan had at least reported the 34% increase earlier this year, but I was starting to notice it earlier in the year. A larger part of our business recently over the last couple of years has been our matcha business as well. That's actually the thing that I've seen a much larger increase in pricing on compared to coffee. I know with coffee again specifically though, like it is region dependent. And from what I understand, a really big part of the reason why there's such a change in coffee prices is the environmental conditions of the countries that are producing coffee, right? So there's also been an increase in pricing in the supply network. Shipping costs have gone up quite a bit as a result of global tariffs. At least that's what I've come to read. But again, like, we work with roasters who are buying from specific countries and who work with specific farmers, and they want to continue working with the farmers that they work with, because that's a big part of this third wave shift in coffee, is having good relationships with the farmers you're working with, and not working specifically with regards to price, but working with regards to having an ethical code and working directly with farmers and developing relationships with them, and often wanting to support countries and regions that are underdeveloped and that haven't been properly highlighted in the world of coffee, right? Because you always have to remember that morning cup that you're drinking is the product of someone who's living all
Someone's
the way
farm.
across the world,
Yeah,
right?
and so for you, that you're
yeah.
outlining the ideology of it, and also matcha, which, in case listeners are listening, that's shade grown tree leaves. You whisk the powder into water or milk. It's green. You probably had it a time or two or seen it. So how much has matcha gone up then, and how much has coffee gone up for you in your business?
Again, coffee, some of the roasts that we buy haven't gone up at all. Whereas some I've seen an increase of 20 to 25%. Again, that's very much based on the region of where the coffee is being purchased. Matcha, on the other hand, has gone up considerably. Again, and I haven't. We've been looking around because it's harder to acquire matcha these days. Actually, a big part of that increase in matcha was that there was a huge TikTok trend for matcha purchases over the last, or so there was a lot of videos going around of
Yep.
people drinking matcha, and that is a lot of what had contributed to that. Specifically from a
Is
numbers
that because of
perspective.
demand for matcha then? What changed, and so it became harder to get?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
also, I just want to add a question here, because you said if coffee, some coffee's gone up 25%, you said others not. But then you said matcha's gone up considerably. So 25% to me feels considerable. How much has some of the matcha gone up for you?
Yeah, I've noticed again, like 30 to 40% with matcha. Yeah, so it's
Quite a
it's
lot.
it's gotten quite a bit more expensive. Yeah,
What's it
yeah.
like for you to have to pass on those, I mean, I'm presuming you're having to raise prices for customers then. What's it like to pass that on?
We have tried to do a good job of finding creative ways to, instead of charging higher prices for certain things, finding ways to bring more people into the shop. I mean, one of the strategies that we've had over the last year has been providing a lot of events in the space, having things like floral pop-ups, vintage clothing pop-ups, live music, rather than, and trying to get people to come through our space and enjoy our space, rather than saying, hey, here, you come to Parlour Coffee every day, like, now we're going to charge you, as someone who supports our business, more money because we're being affected by something that's all the way down the line. But again, the people that come to Parlour, they understand what we do, and they value what we do. And I think that's kind of a part of the world that we live in, right? A part of the world that we live in is that, if we want to support the things that we think are meaningful, sometimes we have to absorb the cost. And I realize that as an owner of the business. And then on top of that, like, I don't want the people that work for me to have to suffer. We've thankfully been able to increase the amount that we pay people year over year, despite these different things that are going on, right? So
have you had
trying to find ways around it.
have you had to pass cost on then, or are you eating most of it right now?
We've passed some, but not a significant amount. We've eaten some, so I think we all,
Yeah. So
are
because
sharing a little bit. But
because of that, if prices continue to increase on the products that are critical to your business, what will it mean for your business's bottom line?
well, I mean, luckily our strategy is to try to change our business model and grow the number of things that we do. So we're not so reliant specifically on coffee. We're actually moving into a larger space next year. We're bringing our baking in house. We're adding a lunch menu. We're going to be doing an evening service. So rather than have to worry about having this specific thing impact the business, for pivoting a bit to ensure that we can continue to serve, people in what we do, rather than just simply, raise
Yeah.
prices to continue on and working in this industry, right?
So that's
Yeah.
a big shift, as you said, to what you'll be
Yeah.
doing. Was it prompted by the higher prices of that core product,
No.
or no? That was in the
No, I
works
would say.
anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was multifold, but one of the reasons was that there's a lot. Parlor started, nearly 14 years ago now. Actually, it's coming. Well, actually, we just passed 14 years. Sorry. So it's been around for a while. And when it started, there was not nearly as many coffee shops in that independent third wave style coffee shop space. But now you've got a bunch of them across the city. You've got spots like Little Sister and Cafe Postal and Tom Bargain, and you got Make Coffee. You got tons of them in our area. I mean, you got Moss Coffee in our area.
Yeah.
You have
Market shifted.
and yeah, there's tons of spots around me that are serving coffee. Show Coffee Bar. So like I saw that and I went, okay, we can't just compete on coffee. We have to do other things. And, also the exchange is a neighborhood that I believe is worth investing in and needs more things going on in order for it to have a
Thrive.
flourishing community, right? So there were many reasons why. And we also found a space that we thought was perfect and needed to be something. So
Well,
yeah.
we'll follow through on your business story moving forward. But thank you this morning for where we started weighing in on the price of coffee. Appreciate you being with us on CBC.
Of course, yeah, you're welcome. Enjoy your day.
That is Connor Vogt, the owner of Parlour Coffee here in Winnipeg.